Hey, editing frog here. I was editing, as you do, and I noticed a few things that I'm going to go ahead and point out here, so you don't have to point them out later. I do go on a lot of side rants. I was extremely tired. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning by the time I finished this, and my brain just was going in every direction.
Come on, baby, what's the name? We threw out his name!
Also, my camera falls over at like 2 different points.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
But the angle changes, and also my mic was just in front of my face for a large majority of this, so the audio is going to be a little bit like I'm trying to eat you. So if you could kindly just ignore all of the flaws that I've just listed and yeah, continue on. Have fun. I think I've done a pretty good job of setting a low standard so you don't come in here looking for quality content of any kind. So if you notice that everything is different and I look like I'm filming on a Nokia brick and I sound like I'm in a wind tunnel, you know, you don't expect anything more from me, so I can't disappoint you. So that's always fun. And if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm checking my notes and making sure that we're still recording, because it likes to just shut off randomly, so I have to keep checking. And the setup is so jerry-rigged that it might just fall over in the middle of this, so...
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
We're trying to go as fast as possible, but efficiently as possible. So the last time that we talked, we had just finished the unrelenting hellscape that was season 3 of True Blood. It was all about Bill.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
If you need a quick refresher, though, I can give it to you because, you know, not everyone makes this their entire personality, so you might be a little rusty on some things. Bill got kidnapped. Werewolves exist, and they were working for a man named Russell, who is a vampire, and Russell was the king of Mississippi, and he was married to a man named Talbot, but he is neither of those things anymore. The queen did a bunch of stupid shit and was about to fight Bill when we ended the season. Sookie found out that Bill is a lying liar who lies, and their entire relationship was built on manipulation. She was kind of the only one that was shocked about this. Everybody else kind of saw it coming because, I mean, the sideburns should have been the first clue, but okay. Eric had gay sex with and then murdered Russell's husband, Talbot, which is both iconic and slightly homophobic. Pam was tortured and almost killed, and I'm still mad about it. We met Alcide.
Got chipped teeth, tattoos, and dirty fingernails, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, he's kind of cute.
Jason became a cop and started dating a werepanther because those exist. Hoyt and Jessica got back together and then moved in together, which is a little bit fast, but okay. Tara got kidnapped by a vampire named Franklin, and she was almost turned, but she managed to kill him, escape, and then she decided to leave town, so we don't know where she is. Lafayette started dating a male witch named Jesus. Arlene was pregnant. Sam met his biological family and ended up shooting his little brother Tommy, and we don't know if he's still alive. Sookie disappeared in a ball of light while visiting Adele's grave in the cemetery. There was some other stuff thrown in there that's probably important, but that's the very, very, very basic rundown of what happened. Overall, it wasn't a bad season. It just wasn't my favorite season. I wouldn't say it's my least favorite, but it's up there. And this season is marginally better, not because it has a better plot line, but because we get one of my favorite moments from the books and from the show, and that would be Amnesia Eric. That shit is so fucking good. Charlene really cooked with that one, and we should all acknowledge that because it's just so good. Shit had me giggling and kicking my feet.
Ryan!
So at least we have that to look forward to, even if it's not like the best piece of media we've ever seen. So we're trying to look on the positive side here. And I do want to say one more thing before we get started because it's really funny to me. My little brother and his wife watch these videos. Everybody say hi, guys.
Oh, hi, Mark.
My brother's the only one in the family that kind of knows that I do this for fun. And he's been very nice and very supportive, and so is she, which is super nice. And I wanted to thank them because it actually does mean a lot that somebody that I know has seen it, and, even if it's not their thing 100%, they acknowledge the effort that I put into them, even though the quality of this shit is not very good. I want to show them my appreciation, but obviously for privacy reasons, I can't show you a picture of them because that would be weird. I've decided to create an artistic rendition of what my brother and my sister-in-law look like so that we can all acknowledge them together. They have also given me some feedback. My sister-in-law doing it very nicely and just kind of mentioning things that she thinks are cool or that she likes, and my brother being a little more aggressive about it. So I'm going to let you know what they think we should add, and then I will be adding that stuff for them because I love them. My brother requested that I give you guys and him, I guess, more pictures because he hasn't seen the show. And side note on that, thanks for watching my recaps of them, but go watch the show, you fucking bum. What are you doing here? Pause this, go watch it, and then come back. It's crazy to me that you're just raw dogging these videos.
Why?
They have also unanimously requested more memes and bits, and that has to do with how young they are. They are in their very, very early 20s. They're very, very, very young Gen Z, and they have rotted their brain with TikTok and Instagram Reels, so they really can't pay attention, and since it would be too much work to put Subway Surfers in the corner to keep them occupied, I will be throwing in some extra memes just for them. So you're welcome. I love you. And with that, let's jump into season 4. Post-cemetery disappearance, Sookie and Claudine, who I did remember to put on the board this time, guys. Everybody clap.
Please clap.
Are in Fairyland, and I don't think we get a name for Fairyland, so don't ask me what it's called. She meets her grandpa and Barry, who we saw in Texas. And her grandpa is kind of confused about her being an adult because when he left, she was a child. And he says that he's only been here for a few hours. And she's like, no, you've actually been here for 20 years. So that's probably not a good sign for our girl. The fairies keep offering her something called Lumiere fruit, and it just looks like they're trying to feed her a light bulb. I wouldn't eat that shit either, girl. But everybody's eating it except her. And then the queen of the fairies, I don't know if that's her title, but they call her that. Her name is Mabe. Hold on. Oh, I didn't write down her name. Cool. Well, here's a picture of her.
Fairy queen, changing teardrops to a smile.
She tries to force feed Sookie the fruit and still she refuses, so everybody is kind of shocked about that because apparently that's just not something you do when the queen tries to feed you things. The queen yells at Sookie for letting Bill and Eric have her blood and taking their blood and exposing them to vampires again, but at what point was she ever supposed to know not to do that? Because none of you showed up throughout her life and none of you told her who she was or what she was supposed to be doing. So how was she supposed to know that this was like a thing she wasn't supposed to do? And on top of that, she would have had no choice anyway because Bill forcibly took her blood when he was licking her bloody forehead and then forcibly gave her his blood after she said no.
No!
So what was she supposed to do about that? That's not really her fault. If anything, it's on you, big dog. Like, I'm going to need you to take some accountability here because you did this. Sookie and the queen get into this cat fight, and the result of that is that the illusion of this beautiful oasis is torn away and it's like a wasteland. It's very much, if you've played Baldur's Gate, and there are probably other examples of this, but Baldur's Gate is just the one I would have played recently, where you go into the swamp for the first time and where the hag is, and then like the illusion falls and it's like the really gross swamp. Kind of like that. Barry stays or like kind of gets trapped there. I can't really remember. Did he die? Am I just fucking stupid? Yes! Remember. Did he die? Am I just fucking stupid? I might be stupid. He might be dead. But Earl, which is her grandpa, and Sookie decide they're gonna bounce out of this, and they pop out back at the cemetery, and because he's been gone so long and because he ate so much of the fruit, Earl actually disintegrates. I don't really know how to describe it. He's really on some Spider-Man shit, is basically what happened. She doesn't really react to it, and so I'm kind of left here wondering, like, what the fuck was the point of that? I think in the books, her grandpa was somebody else. She had, like, a different relationship to the fairies, and that's fine, but, like, if you're not gonna go that route, which, thank God, why introduce him at all? It kind of doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, rip, I guess. I totally forgot that this guy was Ricky Bobby's dad. So, I think he was. Fact check me on that, future me. Hi, so, it's Editing Frog again. I was right. This is Gary Cole, who played Earl Stackhouse, and he was Ricky Bobby's dad in Talladega Nights. But more importantly, he was Bill Lumbergh from Office Space. So Sookie goes home and finds people working on her house, and her house just looks kind of like different in general. And when she goes up to them, they're like, leave? Like, who are you and why are you here? She's like, this is my house. And they're like, no, it's not. And leave. And she's like, no, fuck you. So they call the cops, and Jason shows up because he's fully a cop now. Like, he was kind of a cop, like, in training, like, going through the process, but now he's, like, a fully fledged cop. And he tells her that she's been gone for a year. And she says that she can't believe that, but what do you mean? Like, your grandpa just said that he was gone for a few hours, and you know it's been 20 years. So, like, do, like, a little bit of thinking, just like one thought, complete one thought, activate one neuron, and maybe you would be able to wrap your head around the fact that time moves differently. The sun goes down and Eric and Bill show up, and Bill's like, oh my god, I thought you were dead, oh my god. And Eric's like, yeah, well, I didn't think you were dead. I never gave up on you because I'm not a fucking bitch. And then Bill's like, you know what, get the fuck out of here. And then Eric leaves. That's weird. That's a little peculiar for him to do. I wonder why he did that. It's probably not important at all. Bill and Sookie have a little conversation, and he's like, yeah, everybody blame me for your death. And while it wasn't true, it's kind of a valid assumption to make. Like, you're a psycho, and you've almost killed her multiple times, so I would assume that shit too. And then he tells her that she should have a cover story because she was gone for an entire year, and people like Andy are going to be like, what the fuck? Where were you? And so she tells everybody that she was working on something for Bill, and it was top secret, and she couldn't tell anybody. Sam is going to shifter anger management classes or groups or whatever, and he meets a woman named Luna. And all I can think about was my father-in-law's dog named Luna. We find out that post Shoot Your Brother Gate, Tommy, where are you, Tommy? Hello. Tommy is living with Maxine because Maxine feels the need to fill the hole that Hoyt left when he left. And that's probably not a good idea, to have extremely possessive, narcissistic mom take in abused criminal boy who can't form meaningful relationships right now because he's still healing from a boatload of childhood trauma. That's probably not a good combination, but whatever. Sam is having conflicting feelings about having shot his brother. Jesus is trying to get Lafayette to join his coven with a woman named Marnie who runs it, and he goes to a meeting, and to prove her power, Marnie channels Eddie, the vampire from season 1. Or is it season 2? No, it was season 1. Okay, I'm not crazy. I'm slightly crazy. But that also kind of like implies that there's an afterlife for vampires. I mean, we kind of thought that because of the Godric ghost from last season, but what are vampires doing in the afterlife? Like, what is that? I wish we expanded on that instead of the other things that we'll get to in later seasons of this show. I wish we'd expanded on that, because that's actually interesting, because we've had a few vampires die. I wish the show established any kind of theology, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because there's a lot of people that are dead, and we see a lot of ghosts, but what are these ghosts doing? Where are they going? That's actually a really good thought. I wish somebody in the writer's room had thought about that. Arlene had her baby. His name is Mikey. He's very cute. She's very paranoid though, and she's like, oh my god, like, he's a killer just like his dad, and every single thing that this baby does, she freaks the fuck out about. Like, he ripped heads off of Barbies, which is a perfectly normal baby thing to do, and she took it as a sign that he was the devil. So I'm gonna need you to be so fucking for real. Terry is doing his best to calm her down like the king that he is, and he loves his son very much. So we love an emotionally available father. What's that like to have one of those? Hoyt and Jessica are having relationship problems because Jessica is a young vampire who doesn't know how to control herself, and this is kind of the first relationship that either of them has ever been in, which is a red flag when you're a 29-year-old man, by the way. I'm really getting tired of this fucking couple, and throughout this season I was tired of them, and I'm just tired of them all the time, but like, it's almost like it wasn't a good idea to take a 17-year-old girl from a sheltered home, turn her into a vampire, and then put her in a relationship with this man. Like, what did either of you really expect at the end of the day? Like, that's so stupid. I wish somebody would use their one brain cell and, like, form a coherent thought so none of this had to happen. Like, it's so ridiculous. And I don't understand why the writers keep, like, pushing this on me. Like, nobody wants this. Nobody in your heart of hearts, you can sit here and pretend, and you can lie to me and you can lie to everybody else, but in your heart of hearts, you know that you don't ship this. Like, you know that you don't ship it. You know that you don't really care. It doesn't really matter to you. And I mean, the more I think about it, like, I was rewatching this season, to check my notes or whatever. And the more I think about it, all of Jessica's fucking plot lines have to do with men and sex. And I'm like, why? Please, God, like, can we give her something interesting to do? I'm bored. I don't care anymore. Like, she could literally die. And I would literally just be like, who's she gonna fuck in the afterlife? Haha. Like, it's really not fun. And they're making me hate Hoyt, which is very sad, because he was one of my early contenders for, like, favorite character. Obviously, Terry won that battle because he's the king of my heart, but I don't know, like, the whole relationship, like, I love Hoyt in the books. He's a fucking weird little dude, and now you've turned him into a fucking whining, rambling bitch, and I'm tired. And that was a bit of a side rant that I didn't mean to go on, but I was just thinking about that while I was standing here. So, you're welcome. Jason goes to check on the were-panthers that he got left in charge of, because if you remember, Felton, whatever his fucking name is, druggy guy over here kidnapped Crystal, and Crystal was like, you gotta take care of the were-panthers. So now he's like mayor of Were-Panther Inbred City, and they lock him in a freezer when he gets there.
We're in like a pack of sardines, and we cannot escape, we cannot come out. Mama!
We catch up with Tara, who is in New Orleans, and she's doing like underground fighter things, and we find out she has a girlfriend named Naomi. Okay, LGBT. And Naomi thinks that Tara's name is Tony. Eric and Sookie have a chat, and he says that he's the one that bought her house, and he bought it because Jason was being an idiot and selling it, and he knew she was going to come back, and he fixed it up so it would be ready for her, and that makes her his. I'm going to say this like 100 million times, and you're going to get tired of me saying it, but like, the fuckboyification of Eric Northman will forever piss me off, because I hate to keep harping on the books here, but if you've read the books, you know, he's this flamboyant, also kind of an asshole, also a murderer kind of dude, but he's very likable in the books. Like, if you remember, like, the whole orgy thing, or the fucking the Elvis thing, or her getting staked and them laying in bed and hitting on each other, like, it's very weird. They have these moments. They let these characters, or Charlene let these characters be flawed, and Alan Ball was not interested in that, and he's kind of fuckboyed my buddy here. I'm going to talk about this later next season, because of the Alcide Sookie romance pipeline thing, but yeah, they really unyesified my boy. They neutered my boy, and I'm actually really sad about it. They neutered Pam too, but not to the same extent. I'm going on a lot of side rants today. Big sorry for you, but I think that Alexander Skarsgård could have fucking killed a book accurate Eric. Like, Eric and Bill do public appearances, and I know you're questioning when the fuck did Bill Compton become important enough to do press conferences for vampires, and the answer to that is when he became the king of Mississippi. Not Mississippi. Louisiana. I couldn't say Mississippi last time, and now Mississippi is all I can say. Yeah, he became the king of Louisiana. He goes to like a ribbon cutting, which I really don't know how this is supposed to help vampire relations, because who gives a fuck about a ribbon cutting in Bon Temps? But he meets Portia, and that's Andy's sister, and they kind of hit it off. They get a little flirty. Episode 2 starts out with Jason waking up post-freezer entrapment, and he finds out that Crystal and Felton are back, and he's tied to this bed, and Felton has convinced all his brother, cousins, sister wives to side with him against Jason. And Eric and Sookie are still having that conversation about the house, and Eric offers her protection and friendship and maybe just perhaps a little bit of wiener, but she says no, and he's like, God, you're just a bitch. No, I'm just kidding. He's like, well, you're gonna need protection anyway, because you're literally like vampire crack, and you're gonna have to figure this shit out.
Your scent, it's like a drug to me.
Like, somebody's got to protect you. I'm willing to do it. I'm better looking, stronger, and, you know, just overall more pleasant to be around than Bill Compton. But, you know, take your sweet fucking time, I guess. Jessica and Hoyt are harassed outside of Fantasia, and Hoyt is beaten up by a protester. Okay, well, that's embarrassing. One of the people in Marnie's coven, that would be Katerina, I think is her name. Yeah, I think so. Is reporting to and sleeping with Bill.
Just at least get some standards.
She tells Bill that they managed to successfully resurrect a dead bird, which scares Bill enough to tell her to like stop spying on them, because if they can control dead things, they can control vampires, which I don't feel like that should be the same fucking thing, but okay. You know what? It's your world, I'm just living in it, Alan. Just, whatever. Jesus and Lafayette are shaken up about the resurrecting the bird thing, and Lafayette is very firm that they should not be fucking with life and death, and Jesus is like, listen, magic is a tool. He's on his Merlin shit. I don't know if any of you watch BBC Merlin. Magic is just a weapon, just like a gun. It's just on the person's intent. And Lafayette's like, okay, well, we just resurrected a dead bird. Like, I'm gonna need you to be so fucking for real right now. We should not be stepping here. We are not meant to be here. And he's right. And if, like always, if we just listen to Lafayette, life would be 110% better than it is right now. Sam and Luna are a little flirty. They're running through the woods. They're being animals, whatever. When they go back to human form, he tries to give her a little smooch, and she runs away, which you should take as a sign not to do that again. But he's not going to take that sign. Sookie goes to Bill's house for a little bit of advice and help on the whole Eric bought my house and wants me to be his situation. And she finds a disheveled and clearly just had sex Katerina. And she's like, you know what? I don't want to fucking know what's going on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to reverse it out of here. Beep, beep. Like, I'm out. I don't need to know anything. It's really not my business. Peace. And then Bill is like really upset about it for some reason. But like, why are you upset? We get a flashback to 1982 where Bill meets Nan for the first time.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
And she was working for the AVL back then, and she recruits Bill to infiltrate the vampire monarchies and sow chaos and kind of like weaken them so that they can kind of be taken down later in the future. And you might be thinking to yourself, Kristen, what are your thoughts on that? And you can probably guess they're not super positive. One, that doesn't excuse all of the things that he did while he was undercover. If you're an undercover cop and you rape a woman, you still raped a woman even if you did it because you had to maintain your cover. There are still victims. There are still consequences to the actions that you take. So that's number one. And number two, I feel like after the whole Bill was working for the Queen reveal at the end of last season, the writers didn't want to follow his character arcs from the book, which is fine. And they wanted to maintain the illusion that Sookie and Bill would one day get back together. And kind of leave that door open. And so they gave Bill an out. Look, guys, he's not really that bad. He was a rat the whole time. He was a double agent. But it's not well written. It's not well done. And it doesn't work for me. You know, he kind of feels like, I don't know, going forward, it kind of feels like Bill was molded into whatever the plot needed and not what that character actually is. Sookie goes back to work. Not that she's gonna do much working this season, but she goes back to work and meets baby Mikey because Arlene and Terry brought him in. And Arlene starts freaking out. She's like, don't read his thoughts. Don't do anything. What is Sookie supposed to fucking read in his thoughts if she did read his thoughts? He is a baby. He does not know words. Be so fucking for real. Like, I get her anger and her frustration and her fear, but like, if you really wanted to go that route, we could have had a 5-year jump instead of a 1-year jump, and he could be setting things on fire. Like, if you really wanted to go with this plot line, you should have done it better because that's a literal baby. Crystal shows up and jumps on top of Jason, and he's begging her to let him go, and she's like, no, you have to get me pregnant. And she assaults him and says that other women are going to come in here and they are going to have sex with him. And her and Felton say that They're going to turn him into a werepanther, and he's going to breed with pretty much all the women there. And if you haven't guessed my stance on the sexual assault plot lines of the show, this is where this character loses me. This is where this kind of Jason's character arc loses me, because A, the show's not going to handle his sexual trauma in any sort of reasonable way, and you know, I don't care about Crystal anymore. Somebody shoot her in the head, please. And I don't care about this community anymore. Like, you just lose me as soon as you do this. And it doesn't go anywhere, so what's the fucking point? It feels like the writer's room is just like every time that there's supposed to be a moment of drama, somebody has to be sexually assaulted. Luna comes to Merlotte's to flirt with Sam, and then at their next meeting, she talks about how when she was younger, she accidentally shifted into her mom, which means that shapeshifters can shift into people. It's just very taboo and it's very dangerous because it's just like an extreme thing to do. So it can really fuck you up. Tommy is there. And he tries to make amends with Sam, and Sam's just like, you know what, we can be semi-friends right now, I just don't know, and we'll work on it later. And Tommy's like, cool. So the brothers are speaking again, which is nice. We love a bit of reconciliation. Tara comes home to see Sookie because she heard that she was back, and they have a little girl talk. She talks about Naomi, and Sookie says that she's very upset that Eric bought her house and built himself a little cubby to sleep in, and that he wants her to be his, and he's just being really weird. And Tara's like, well, he's a vampire. I love the way that she says vampire, by the way. If you go watch some clips, it's very funny. Tara then goes to see Lafayette, who convinces her to come with them to the store that the witch coven meets at, and she agrees and she goes there. Bill tells Eric that he needs him to investigate because now they are necromancers and they need to fucking die. So Eric does that. While he's talking, Marnie is possessed by a spirit that we don't know yet and does something to Eric that we don't know about. We don't know what it is yet, but she does something to him, and he kind of just falls to his knees.
I am tibi impero et praecipio maligne spiritus, ut confestit alata et cercelo decedes. Abesque omnis strepito terrore clamore defetiore, asque sine omni danno me tam anime quan corporus.
Bill has a flashback to killing Sophie Ann, and they had like this weird fight where they were both floating in midair. It's actually kind of ridiculous. And then a bunch of humans came in with sniper rifles and killed Sophie Ann, which is fucking a pussy move if you ask me. Like, if you're gonna take the fucking crown, go take that shit with your bare hands. Like, it's kind of fucking crazy that you're gonna sit here and bring a bunch of people and guns into this. You're a bitch. That's not new, I guess. And then Nan Flanagan walks in and she's like, "You're now the king of Louisiana. Congratulations." If you didn't know, the woman that plays Sophie Ann has a beautiful, beautiful singing voice. So, you know, maybe check that shit out. It's kind of good, though. Sookie goes to Fantasia to plead with Pam to get Eric to give her house back. And I'm like, Pam is the most ride or die bitch on planet Earth. So if you thought that was going to work, you're fucking dumb. So Pam basically tells her to fucking kick rocks and accept Eric's deal because she's really not going to get a better one out there. And Eric likes her. And he's got good dick, so, like, just go for it, girl. And then Sookie's like, ew, no. And then she leaves, and on her way home, she finds a shirtless Eric walking down the road. And he doesn't recognize her when she stops the car.
Eric? Eric? Eric?
Who are you?
It's me, Sookie.
Who?
You know me.
Oh, no, I don't. Why do you smell so good?
Episode 3 starts with Sookie realizing that Eric legitimately doesn't know who she is, and she convinces him to get in the car, and she takes him home. She calls Pam, and Pam is immediately convinced that Bill set him up, which is probably true, because he's a shifty bitch. And she's like, you have to protect him, and don't tell anybody he's here. I don't care who it is, what they want, why they're here. Do not tell him he's here. And we're now left alone with Amnesia Eric. Congratulations. This is the best arc of the series. Bill kills a vampire that was caught on camera drinking blood. Lafayette is freaking the fuck out after Marnie did something to Eric. He's like, you don't understand, bitch. Like, we're all gonna die. Pam's crazy. He's crazy. Bill's crazy. Sookie's crazy. They're all fucking crazy. We're all gonna fucking die. And they tell him to basically sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. And Tara's upset that, like, vampires are already back in her life and she's been here for, like, 10 minutes. But, you know, welcome home, girl. Pam shows up. No. Lafayette goes to Fantasia. That's how it happened. Sorry. Don't let me lie out here. He goes to Fantasia to tell Pam what happened. And she's like, you've got 24 hours to fix her, and I'm going to rip your fucking dick off. Because that's my father. That's my best friend on planet Earth. So you better give me him back now. Expeditiously. We find out that Tommy is trying to scam Maxine because they found oil on her land and she's about to be very rich and he wants some of that money. Scammer gets scammed. But Sam tells him to knock it the fuck off or they're going to have a problem. So Sookie goes to visit Alcide because she's just making the fucking hot dude rounds. She's got to visit everybody. We got to visit Eric. We got to visit Bill. We got to visit Alcide. We got to hit all the hotties. And he's with Debbie. And Debbie is newly sober. So everybody clap for Debbie. We love a sober queen. Jessica and Hoyt argue about Jessica drinking from random men in the bar. And when she doesn't like how the argument's going, she glamours him. And that's a red flag. There's also like an obviously haunted baby doll in Jessica's house. And it keeps showing up even after she throws it away. So she gives it to Arlene, who gives it to Mikey.
Excuse me, what the actual fuck are you doing in my house?
Portia and Bill are still getting flirty. And I'm like, bitch, ain't you got a whole woman? Damn. Claudine comes to see Sookie and beg her to come back. And then she's killed by Eric, who can't control himself because he's basically a giant toddler with fangs.
You just killed my fairy godmother!
Sorry.
Peace out, Girl Scout. Eric is now completely drunk on fairy blood, and luckily for everyone involved, he's an I love you drunk and not a violent drunk, and he keeps running around like a giant toddler, and Sookie can't keep up, and she can't find him after a little while, so she calls Alcide so he can track him down. They find him, and our boy is frolicking. He's having such a good time, but he's got to go inside.
Hey, Sookie! Where have you been? Come play with me. It's wonderful here.
big gators in there, you crazy Viking. Get on out and let's go home before one of them chomps off your you-know-what.
Crocodile! Show yourselves! Cowards! Get away from her!
I'm looking for a way to say this thing. Crystal and Felton send in a young girl named Becky to sleep with Jason. And Jason, at this point, we can assume that multiple people have been in there. But this is such a young girl. I'd say early teens to like mid-teens. And Jason, thankfully, convinces her that she doesn't want to do this. And she's too young for this. And this is not it. And to untie him. Thank you. Because I don't trust this show not to go that far. So I'm glad we didn't go that far, because I actually would have fucking lost my mind. I would have lost the entirety of my frontal cortex at that point. He gets out and he has to kill Felton with a stick. And then Crystal's like, oh my God, we can be together forever. And he's like, no, you crazy fucking bitch. No, we can't. Like, what the fuck is your problem? And then he's running away. And she's like, we're mates, don't worry about it, and I'll see you on the full moon, implying that Jason is going to turn into a werepanther on the full moon, which is freaky. These motherfuckers are dropping like flies this season, ain't they? Marnie has a dream about a witch named Antonia that was burned at the stake by a vampire priest. Okay. And when she wakes up, she's a little bit scared, and she looks for a spell that can fix Eric, because Lafayette's probably right. He's probably gonna murder us all. Portia introduces Bill to her family, and when the grandma pulls out the fucking family photo album, as grandmas are wont to do, we find out that Portia and Bill are related.
Welcome back to Alabama Mondays on a Saturday.
Sam visits Luna, and we find out that she has an ex-husband named Marcus, who is a werewolf, a pack leader, and an obsessive, creepy fuck who keeps showing up unannounced and uninvited and gets really, really jealous whenever she looks at anyone of the opposite gender, even though they haven't been together for a while. So that probably won't become important later. Tommy goes to visit his mom, and she's like, oh, I left Jolie, and we're not together anymore, and I want to be a family.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
And just as they're having this nice, wholesome family conversation, Jolie comes up behind him and puts a chain around his neck and drags him off. So it's not looking good for my boy. Arlene comes to check on Mikey in his room and finds a message on the wall that says, baby, not yours. Which, good looking out, ghost lady, but we knew that already. Like, this isn't Maury. Like, we knew that he wasn't the father the entire time. So you're really not breaking any news here, baby girl. But thanks for looking out, I guess. Jason makes it to the road, and Hoyt and Jessica are driving by, and they get out, and Jessica gives him her blood to heal him, and that was a mistake. That was probably not a good thing to do based on the way he starts looking at this woman, like, immediately. Bill goes to look for Eric at Sookie's house, and she lies her fucking ass off to make him leave. She's like, he's not here. I can't believe he'd even say that to me. Like, we're not even friends or whatever. Like, you know, I don't even like him like that. Like, oh my God. Okay. Okay. Pam, Lafayette, and Tara meet up with Marnie. And Pam's like, you got to give me my maker back right now. Whatever you did to him, make it stop. And she gets snarky because, well, she's Pam. And then the spirit possesses Marnie again. And she curses Pam to make her face rot.
Leave Brittany alone! Please!
Episode 5 starts with Jolie and Melinda beating the fucking shit out of Tommy. It's actually very brutal. And a little bit of foreshadowing, if you ask me. Yeah, a little bit. Tommy kills them both. His mom accidentally. He kind of pushes her and then she breaks her neck. But Jolie definitely intentionally. And he takes the bodies to Sam because he doesn't know what to do with them. So, yeah. They ain't nothing but trash, and now they're just dead trash. So don't even cry about it. Eric has a bad dream about Godric, who he does not recognize at this point. He's like touching Sookie, and he's like, you need to drink from her now. And Eric is like, no, I don't want to hurt her. And he wakes up, and Sookie lets him like cuddle with her until sunrise. It's very sweet. Hoyt and Jessica get Jason back to his house. There he is. There's Jason. And Hoyt kind of notices that she's acting differently, but she won't tell him what's wrong, and she leaves. So it's the beginning of the end. Yay. Portia won't leave Bill alone because she really wants some of that bussy. I don't know what I was trying to say. Lafayette and Jesus go to Mexico to see Jesus's grandpa, who is a brujo, which is a male witch. And, yeah. Tara gets a call from Naomi, who is a little confused because Tara has mail that says Tara and not Tony. Sam and Tommy have a bonding moment about killing people, and they get rid of their parents' bodies. So, cool. Hoyt and Jason talk about what happened to him, and Jason says the saddest shit I've literally ever heard.
I don't know. Maybe God's punishing me for having too much sex. You know, he's like, Jason Stackhouse, you have fucked too many hot women. Now let's see how you like it.
And just in case no one's ever told you this before, if you are a survivor of sexual abuse or assault or any type of, abuse, assault, neglect, whatever, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything to deserve it. There's nothing that you need to blame yourself for in that scenario. The only person that should take any blame is the abuser. And since the show is not going to handle it correctly by telling you or showing you a character working through this in a healthy way, I'll go ahead and tell you, please reach out for help. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Sadly, it's something that a lot of people have experienced, myself included. It's not uncommon, unfortunately, and it's not your fault. So please reach out for help from professionals, or report it to the police, or seek, community, and don't blame yourself. Don't do that, because you really didn't deserve it. Sookie talks to Holly about being a witch and reads her mind to find Marnie. And when she's talking to Marnie, she sees the ghost of Adele.
I'm in heaven now. So sorry I died. I miss you so much.
And she's like, you gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, you don't be around these people. Like, you're gonna get hurt. Do not be here. Run. Run. And I don't know about you, but if my dead grandma showed up and was like, bitch, you need to run, I'd be running. Bill tries to arrest Marnie, but she says that she doesn't know what's going on and she doesn't know how to reverse these spells that she keeps casting. Pam is looking rough. Ew. And it's not looking good for my girl. And one day, my baby mama's going to catch a break. Like, one day. But today ain't that fucking day. Alcide is visited by Marcus, who, like I said, is a pack leader, and he wants them to join the pack, and Debbie's into it. Alcide's not into it. He tells him to fuck off.
You're home early?
Brought you lunch. The fuck is he doing here?
We got off to a bad start. That ain't Debbie's fault. She's got a ride to a place in our pack.
You joined this pack without talking to me?
I knew what you'd say.
So much for rigorous honesty, huh? Get out of my house.
Look, I understand. If you don't trust me, but after what happened with your packmaster in Mississippi, hell, I don't blame you. Letting a vampire overrun his wolves, getting him hooked on the blood, that ain't no later. And Debbie here tells me you're the only one with the stones to stand up and fight back.
Debbie needs to keep her mouth shut.
All right. I don't want to get in the middle of nothing here. And I'm sorry if I alphaed you a little hard the other night, but these are perilous times for our kind. And this pack needs a wolf like you, Alcide. And I really do hope you reconsider joining. Debbie, I'll see you tonight.
Bill gathers some people together to talk about the witch situation, Pam being one of them. And Pam's like, you gotta fucking kill that bitch. And Bill's like, that's not gonna fix anything. Pam accidentally spills the fucking beans about where Eric is. Damn it, Pamela.
What I was thinking of was, oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
The ghost at Arlene's house starts a house fire. And Bill says that Eric needs to be executed because he's being controlled by witches. And Sookie's like, bitch, oh, I'm gonna stab you. But Eric, for now, is locked up in Bill's house. Debbie joins the pack behind Alcide's back, and she forces him to run with them on the full moon, which is apparently like a big event. And they see Jason running through the woods, and he's freaking out, and he asks them if it's possible, if a werepanther bit him, if he'll turn into a werepanther, and they're like, no, that's not how that works. It is how it works in the book, and Jason is a werepanther in the book, in case anybody was wondering. But it's not how it works here, so you're safe. And Jason's like, yes! Naomi shows up to confront Tara about the whole wrong name thing, and a very angry Pam shows up and is about to attack them. We learn that the ghost talking to baby Mikey is a woman named Mavis.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Who I forgot to add. LOL. You know, it's a theme. Tommy shifts into Sam and starts doing a bunch of fuck shit. He fires Sookie, which is valid. And then he sleeps with Luna, which is not. And like I said with Crystal, the minute that a character becomes a sexual predator, they lose all my respect and care. I do not care about Tommy anymore. He sexually assaulted Luna. I don't care anymore. Eric returns to Sookie. He got out of Bill's house somehow. Either I don't remember or they didn't explain. And then they have sex in the woods. And I know all of you Eric and Sookie for lifers were punching the air and crying when this came out. So congrats to y'all.
Climb.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing.
Antonia has fully possessed Marnie, and she uses Marnie to kill a vampire named Luis, whatever it is, who I didn't include. LOL. And he kills himself after trying to kill Bill.
Oh my gosh! She's bald! She's bald and she's torturing people who have hair!
Obviously because he's being controlled. Which means that Bill was right, they can control vampires. Pam was going to attack Naomi and Tara, but then she gets interrupted by some tourists who see her rotting face and start taking pictures of her, and she doesn't want to get executed, so she can't really kill these two bitches in front of a crowd. So Sam finds Tommy in a puddle of vomit and blood and takes him to the hospital. And that's the side effect of shifting into a person. It's not good for you. You get really sick, and Tommy's like, damn. And he doesn't tell him about all the shit that he did. Jesus' grandpa says that Lafayette is a very, very powerful medium, and that can be very, very good and or very, very bad. So watch out for that. Debbie and Alcide come across Sookie and Eric having sex in the woods. Everybody's in the woods tonight, baby. Don't ask questions. Everybody's in the woods. Alcide's upset about it. Which should be a red flag in his brain. Like, why'd you fight so hard for this relationship if you didn't want to be in this relationship. You're fucking killing me, bro. Like, all of these people in all of these relationships don't want to be in these relationships. Tara says it's not safe for Naomi here, so she tells Naomi to leave, and she does. Cool. Hoyt says that he can feel Jessica slipping away, and he just might die if she does. Shut the fuck up. Get a life. Stop it. Eric and Sookie have a sweet post-coital conversation where he's like, I can feel your heartbeat. You make me feel alive. How cute and wholesome was that? Wow. Pam calls Ludwig to help her lift the curse, but Ludwig says she can't really do much, so Pam's just kind of SOL. All the vampires are scared of being controlled by the witch, so they all chain themselves in silver. Ginger chains her, Sookie chains him, and Bill and Jessica get chained by the staff or whatever. And Eric is talking to Sookie to try to get through it, and he's basically like, please don't let me get my memories back, because what if, like, the regular version of me won't be here? Like, please, like, if you can forgive me, then I can forgive myself. Damn. I forgot to mention this, but Andy and Holly have been dating in the background, or fucking in the background, I don't know. Jessica tells Bill that she doesn't love Hoyt as much as he loves her, and that makes her sad. Lafayette sees the ghost of Mavis talking to baby Mikey while they're at the restaurant, and he yells at her, and she's surprised that he can see her and leaves when he asks. The Coven does a spell to make all the vampires walk into the sun in the nearby area, and we kind of see everybody's reaction. Oh, no. Pam is in a casket and can't get out. Eric is being held down by Sookie. Jessica gets out of her silver. Bill is pretty silvered. Jessica gets to the door and kills a guard, and Jason is running up to the house. I don't even know why Jason is there. Like, why are you here? I'm confused. But we hear a gunshot, and then Jessica steps out onto the front porch, so...
Stop! I need to get Jessica! Freeze!
Episode 8. Jason tackles Jessica back into the house and puts her back in silver. So, he saved her life. Congratulations. Yay. Marcus forbids anyone from being involved in the witch vampire situation, which is going to be a problem for big-headed ass Alcide, because he's got to put his big-headed ass in every situation. Like, he literally doesn't have a life of his own. He has to be in everybody else's life. Sam finds out about what Tommy did to Luna and disowns him. And he's like, yeah, I mean, he's my brother, but fuck that. I'll never forgive him for this. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm on your side. Eric and Sookie exchange blood to heal after the whole silver debacle. And then they have a shared kind of dream of them laying in this bed in the middle of the woods in the snow. I guess it's very Viking inspired. So that's cool. I guess. I didn't, like, is that a thing that happens? Like, it's very weird because I have a thought about it. We never see that with Bill and Sookie. We never have this moment where they're, like, in this shared mental space. And is that supposed to be that their relationship is different? They have a different connection, and so they have this different kind of experience with each other? Or is it because he's so new and he's so... Oh, you can't see that I did that. He's so new that he's, like, letting her in, whereas Bill wouldn't have let her in. I've got questions, and Alan Ball doesn't have the answers. Jessica has a dream about breaking up with Hoyt and then slamming his head into a wall, which... Girl, just fucking leave. They break up in real life, like, a little bit later in the episode, and then he starts acting like a fucking Reddit nice guy, and he's like, you're a fucking bitch anyway, like, I need an alive bitch that can give me kids. Like, why are you acting like a fucking incel right now? Could you calm the fuck down? Like, this is so fucking ridiculous. I actually can't stand this fucking turn of events that we've witnessed here today. Marcus tells Alcide that he's an alpha and that he should be more involved with the pack.
I'm an alpha, Sam.
Whoa. I'm done. I'm done. What the fuck? I'm an alpha? What? At what point was that what this was about?
He's like, no thanks, Marcus. And then Debbie makes him promise not to see Sookie anymore. But bitch, we know that ain't gonna fucking last, so let's get real. Marcus finds out about Sam and Luna dating, and he's not very fucking happy about that shit. Jessica goes to Jason to tell her that her and Hoyt broke up. And for like 5 seconds, Jason is like, you know what, bro code. And he kicks her out of the house. Because if you ain't riding with my mans, I ain't riding with yous. That's going to change in like 5 seconds. Don't get worried. The witches and the vampires are squaring off in the cemetery. And while I was rewatching it, I was reminded of this clip.
You see, surgical and medical interns are kind of like two rival gangs. Not real gangs, more like those cheesy gangs you see in Broadway musicals.
Sookie gets shot, and Alcide carries her out, and Eric goes to attack Marnie. Antonia. I'm just going to call her Marnie, but she's possessed by Antonio, so just remember that. And we don't really know what the spell was, but he's alive, but, you know, we don't know what the spell was. Mavis, the ghost lady, possesses Lafayette because he's like a medium to go kidnap Mikey. He's absconded with a child. Episode 9, Bill gives Sookie some more blood to heal her after the shot thing. She wakes up and she's like, where is Eric? And Alcide and Bill are like, yeah, fuck us, the people that saved you. Yeah, where's Eric? And I'm just like, now's not the fucking time for y'all to be getting jealous over shit that you don't even have a chance with right now. Like, it's so fucking crazy. Both of you are in relationships. Please get over yourself. Debbie 100% knows that Alcide went to go see Sookie and save her, and so she's giving him the cold shoulder. She thinks they fucked. They didn't. Jessica thinks it'll be a good idea to confide in Nan Flanagan, of all people, about her boy troubles, and Nan doesn't give a singular fuck, and neither do I. Jessica, let's make it real clear. I don't give a fuck.
Then I go over to Jason's house because I thought maybe he might, like, understand what I was going through, but he just kicked me out also. This is the worst day of my life. I wish I was dead. Except I am, and it doesn't even matter.
There have been times, I'll admit, when it's occurred to me that maybe I should put my career on hold and become a maker. But these last several hours here with you have erased those doubts forever.
Everyone in the coven is upset that Marnie started a fucking war because now they're all gonna die, and Marnie tells them to shut the fuck up and get the fuck over it. Luna, Sam, and Luna's daughter Emma, Marcus is the baby daddy, by the way, in case you were wondering, go on a camping trip. Is this the appropriate time for a fucking camping trip? Probably not, but they went on one anyway. Possessed Lafayette kicks Hoyt out of his house because that's where Mavis used to live, and now they're holed up in there with the baby. Debbie buys some V. Come on, Debbie, don't do this to me, girl. Debbie then goes to Sookie's house and is like, actually, I want to mend our relationship. Let's go save your fucking vampire boyfriend guy. And they go to the witch's store, and they aren't able to get anybody out because everybody's being held hostage at this point. But they get out safely. So I guess it was a fact-finding mission. I'm not really sure. Jesus comes looking for his boyfriend and finds him possessed, and he and Jason have to dig up Mavis's dead child that was murdered because she was a black woman that had the child of a white man, and that was just a no-no throughout most of American history. So her child was murdered, and she wants her baby back, and that's why she took Mikey. So They dig up her child and she's reunited with her child, and they leave and everything's fine. Marcus shows up at Merlotte's, and Sam's not there because he's on the camping trip, and he sees Tommy and he's like, I need you to tell Sam Merlotte I'm looking for him. And Tommy's like, oh, word.
I'm looking for Sam Merlotte. He around?
Who's asking?
Name's Marcus.
Marcus what?
He knows who I am.
Well, he ain't around, Marcus. He knows who I am.
Who are you?
His brother?
No shit. Shifter got himself a shifter brother, huh? All right, then. You give him this, will you? I'll be waiting for him tonight. You tell him to be there. Or else he's gonna have a bigger fucking problem on his hands than he already got.
And so he shifts into Sam and goes to meet Marcus and is beaten within an inch of his life. And Alcide is there to witness it. And Marcus is just trying to fucking basically kill Sam for the crime of having a girlfriend. And then when Alcide stops him and he's like, listen, dude, this is too far, Tommy passes out and shifts back into Sam, and Alcide is like, fuck, because they're all like, first of all, we didn't even beat the fuck out of the right guy. And second of all, this is a kid. What the fuck? Hoyt asked Jason to take Jessica's belongings back to her because she moved out, and he does, and they sleep together. What happened to bro code? What happened to you just went through serious traumatic things and you need to not be having sex with anyone? Wasn't that what we just talked about literally like an episode ago? Like, ooh, this is the shit that be pissing me off. Like 10 seconds ago, Jason was all like, well, I've had too much sex and maybe I just need to be by myself for a while. And now we're fucking your best friend's ex-girlfriend. I'm confused. Marnie takes a possessed Eric to the like festival thing the vampires were throwing for like good PR or whatever. And Sookie shows up and she's trying to warn Bill. Episode 10, during all the fighting at the PR festival, because possessed Eric, not possessed, but like controlled Eric is attacking people, Sookie's magic somehow returns his memories. Maybe it was the bond that they have now, but I'm not really sure. Who the fuck knows? Alcide feels really bad about what they did to Tommy, and so he tries to take him to the hospital, and Tommy's like, no, can I please just go home and die in peace, please? And Alcide's like, well, okay. Eric says that he remembers everything that happened while he was, not himself, and that nothing changed, and he still loves her and wants to be together like they talked about. And then she's like, well, I love you and Bill. You're pissing me off. You're just pissing me off. Sam comes back to find his little brother dying on the pool table, and it's really emotional, but again, he's a rapist, so I don't really care. But yeah, Tommy bites the big one, and Sam vows to avenge his brother's death. I feel like you could have had such a good arc if the writers gave a fuck about you. Bill plans to blow up the witch store with everyone inside. All the hostages. Fuck the hostages at this point. Just kill them all. The family learns about Andy's V addiction, which I forgot to mention, but he's been on V. Oops. And Terry is like, we're going to get you out of this, bro, because that's king behavior. Terry is like, I'm going to get you out of this. Okay? I love you, and you're better than this, and I'm going to get you out of this. All the members of the Coven are working on ways to kind of like get rid of Marnie so they can escape, but nothing is really working. Debbie and Marcus have a conversation about Alcide not wanting to have kids, and Marcus encourages her to cheat on him. I see why your fucking marriage failed, bro. What the fuck kind of advice is that? Like, are you fucking dumb? Bill, Pam, Jessica, and Eric show up to kill the witches. It's payback time, bitches. But we still have 2 episodes to go, so obviously they ain't gonna do it right now. Jason is outside the store and he tells Eric that Sookie's stuck inside because Marnie's got her hostage, and they're just like, Sookie's always, well, yo, bruh. You put her in this situation, big dog. Like, I don't know what you fucking want. And stop acting annoying because you're gonna go get her ass anyway. Like, shut the fuck up. Marnie says that she'll release Sookie and take off the force field. There's like a force field around the store if Bill and Eric kill themselves. And then these fucking idiots try to do it. And then my queen shows up with a rocket launcher and she fucking fires that motherfucker. Eric is upset about the rocket launcher. Doesn't even acknowledge the fact that it was cool. And says she could have killed Sookie and tells her to leave before he kills her.
Are we talking or not? What's the problem? Why are you yelling at him, though? Yelling? Yelling!
Marnie tries to kill all the vampires, but Sookie stops her. Jesus and Lafayette use a dead body to separate Antonia from Marnie because Marnie is willingly being possessed. She's been a lying liar who lies the entire time. She wanted this power. She wanted to do this. And she's actually not even letting Antonia leave, which is kind of rude. The shield goes down and Bill and Eric kill Marnie and her sidekick, who I didn't put up here. But his name is Roy, in case you were wondering. And I can't X out Antonia because she's already dead. So, but she's poofed. Luna calls Sam and says that Marcus has taken their daughter Emma, and they're looking for her, and everybody's kind of like freaking out about it. And then Emma calls, because she's a kid, she knows how to use a phone, and says that she's at Mr. Alcide's house, and Daddy and Miss Debbie are sleeping together. And Alcide was like, the fuck did you just say? And they go, and Debbie is half dressed, and Marcus is trying to get her to run away with him, and made myself cry laughing. Raise Emma since Alcide doesn't want kids, and Debbie's like, no, I love Alcide even though he cheated on me, which he didn't, by the way. And then Alcide comes in and Sam comes in and they get Emma out of there with her mom. You know, we retrieve the kid. That's very good. And they take turns beating the fuck out of Marcus, because not only did you fuck Alcide's bitch, you kidnapped a child, and you killed Tommy. Bitch! There's a lot of death this season. I just noticed that. In the aftermath of killing Marcus, Debbie's freaking out, and she's like, everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be okay. And Alcide does this.
Debbie, I'll cure you.
Please don't.
See her no longer. I hunt with you no longer.
Elsie.
I share flesh with you no longer.
Baby.
And for the uninitiated, being my brother, if you don't know what that means, it basically boils down to,
Don't call me. Don't come by my house. We're done.
Andy's walking through the woods because Terry left him somewhere and told him to walk and kind of like sweat it out. This is part of his recovery, I guess. And this random woman approaches him and is like, will you protect my light? And he's like, huh? And then they have sex. So fuck Holly, I guess. Nobody's faithful out here. Fuck all of you bitches. Lafayette and Jesus are laying in bed when Lafayette is possessed by the spirit of Marnie. Like, damn, girl, you've been dead 5 minutes. Can you not go somewhere else? Like, damn. Episode 12, Jesus finds out that Lafayette is possessed when he stabs him in the hand. That's a pretty big indicator. Sam holds a small funeral for his brother, and the only people that show up are him and Maxine. So, you know what? Maxine, I've talked a lot of shit about you, but you're pretty cool for that. You know, Tommy was an asshole, but, you know, you tried your best to support him, and you know what? That's pretty cool. Jason owns up to sleeping with Jessica, and Hoyt beats him up. and Jason just kind of lets him. Like, Jason could definitely beat the fucking brakes off of Hoyt, but he doesn't. He lets him because, fair enough. I mean, he broke bro code. He really did. Sookie gets her job back after being fired by Tommy pretending to be Sam. So, yay. Again, she's not going to work that much, so who cares? Jesus trades his life for Lafayette's and is killed by Marnie to get his demon. I didn't really mention Jesus's demon very much, but the gist of that is there's a demon. That's the gist of it. And we don't really learn about that until next season, I think. But, like, this demon kind of, like, flashes around when Jesus used his magic, and apparently it's powerful, but now he's dead, so who fucking cares? Man, I swear, nobody can have a fucking relationship on this show. Like, everybody just keeps dying. I just realized 2 seconds ago that, Katarina was killed. Yikes, girl, so sorry. Later on in the episode, the ghost of Jesus tells Lafayette that he'll always be with him because he's a medium and that he chose to do it and it's okay. And Lafayette's very upset. Alcide, where'd he go? Alcide shows up and tells Sookie that he's seeing clearly for the first time in a long time and he wants her. And Sookie's like, listen, bro, I don't know who, what, where, why. I don't know who. I just need a minute. And Alcide's like, figure it the fuck out, bitch. Like, I'm trying to get some of that. Jason and Jessica become friends with benefits. Marnie is using Lafayette to try and kill Bill and Eric. So Sookie, Holly, and Tara have to do a spell. And while they're doing this spell, a spell that they explained nothing about what it was and why it works, but that's fine. All the ghosts in Bon Temps just pop out. They're like, hello. We see Gran, and she's like, I love you. And we see Renee, and he tells Arlene to run from Terry. Steve Newland shows up at Jason's house and tries to fuck him. He's now a vampire. That's cool. I mean, good job on coming out. But, you know, why are you showing up at Jason's house like Jason doesn't like you? Alcide finds out that Russell has escaped from the concrete prison.
Fuck, you've been glamored.
Why would a vampire want to glamour me? Or dig a hole in a damn parking garage?
Dumbass motherfucking Sookie says that she can't be with Bill or Eric because she loves them both. Nan shows up and says that she left the AVL and she wants Eric and Bill to help her with an uprising. And they say, fuck all that shit. And then they kill her. I made a lot of jokes, but I actually like Nan. So peace out, girl. You girl boss too close to the sun. Debbie, high on V, tries to kill Sookie, and Tara steps in front of her and gets shot in the head with a shotgun. And then Sookie kills Debbie with the shotgun and is holding Tara's body and screaming for help. Yeah, Tara's technically dead. So she's getting a little cross today. And you can take it up with my lawyers if you don't like it. Debbie, I wish you had found more self-worth. Because there ain't no dick worth dying for. That is season 4. I can't believe we finished season 4. Jesus Christ. We have some questions like, how did Russell get out? And why is Steve now an openly gay vampire? And what the fuck? Why is Tara dead? And are Alcide and Sookie gonna fuck? And are Pam and Eric ever gonna be okay again? Because Pam's pretty sure that Eric hates her guts. And is Hoyt gonna really go down the Reddit nice guy path? And is the baby okay? Like, is the baby gonna be a serial killer? Who the fuck is that woman that just had sex with Andy in the woods? All of these are questions that are valid. And some of them might be answered next season. I wouldn't count on it, though. You're not asking for my opinion, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. This is where the quality of this show kind of starts to drop off. I feel like last season was like the last really good season, even though I fucking hate that season. And the more we get into this, the more it's going to get crazy and nonsensical in ways that just like defy logic. It's gonna get bad for a while. Like, I felt like season 3 was an interesting take on the source material, but I feel like season 4 was just kind of like a swing and a miss. Like, they took something that was fairly popular, like the Amnesia Eric line, and kind of just tried to swing a little further, and it just didn't land for me. And also, like, the writers are pushing Bill and Sookie so hard, and they're not letting us have anything else. And I'm really sad about it, because I can think of 1,000 different people I'd rather her be with than that man. I know that for the next 3 seasons, I'm going to be slogging through some absolute fucking shit plot lines. But I mean, I guess that can be fun. I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of, I'm not dreading it because I enjoy doing this on the side and it's a hobby for me. As someone who enjoys media and stories, it's gonna be kind of crazy. But that's all I've got for you today. It is 2 o'clock in the morning and I want to go to bed so bad. So, you know, have a great night. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I'll see you next time. Stay safe out there.
Why are you running? Why are you running?